Okay.
Yes, we are on. I
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Konstantin Korotkov. You know me. And today I want to discuss with you a topic of water. You know that we've been involved for a very long time, and we were doing study of water, research in water, and you can find it in our papers, in our books. But now I want to give you another overview, not only GDV, not only biowell, but I want to give you a vision of what does it mean science of water at the moment. Because now, just now, we have very important moment. We have the moment of scientific water revolution. And I'm following this line for many years, but only last year it became clear what's going on with water study, and only now we can tell that now we have a real scientific approach to understanding water. And it is really absolutely new vision of life, new vision of water, and new vision of our reality. That is why we all need to know what's going on. And the idea that this science is absolutely new. It was created only last year at our congress in Bulgaria, waterconference.org. It was presentations by different people that allowed us to make it absolutely clear. And now I want to tell about what's going on, and I want you to know about this. Then, of course, you will be able to find a lot of different papers, publications, websites. But if you, of course, if you know what to look for, then you can find it. Okay, so we are discussing about scientific water revolution. Okay, let me see. Yes, here it is. And you know that water is the basis of life, and you know that life without water is impossible. You can live quite a long time without food, and you know that there are people who don't eat at all, so named sun eaters, but it is absolutely impossible to live without water, because all functioning of organic systems, would it be human being, would it be some plant or microbiological culture, it's all based on water. And we are developing new standards of water, and it is all based on new understanding of water. And this understanding based on the idea that water is an essence of life. So all our health depends on water. And if you drink good structured water, then it will be very beneficial for health. If you drink bad water, then it may be deadly. You know that in medieval times and even now in African countries, a lot of disease, the more dreadful disease, come from bad water. And it is evaluated that in many countries they don't have real resources of drinking water, and they suffer a lot. You know that in medieval times people was preferred to drink wine because water supply was very limited. Of course, if we take Roman Empire, then we understand that in Roman Empire they paid a lot of attention to water. They was creating water aqueducts that transported water for hundreds of kilometers, and in all their big cities, in all settlements, they had very good water. Plus, of course, we know that Romans, they paid a lot of attention to the purity of their bodies, and they had this very special attitude to their bodies, and that's why they had a lot of baths. If we take later time, if we take Europe, then in Europe it was no tradition to wash their bodies at all. It is very well known that a lot of most of Spanish kings, they were proud that they washed their body only twice in their life, when they were burned and when they were dead. So that is we understand that water, it is so important that we need to apply different approach, different systems to evaluate water. And we are measuring energy of water, and we are creating quantitative evaluation of the energy of water. And water, of course, it is very enigmatic substance. Do you know that jellyfish, this is active animal, but it's 99.9% of water. So it's practically water, but it's active water, it's moving water, it's animal that may have maybe very dangerous, and animal that has very interesting behavior, and it's water. Do you know that we in our body we have practically same content of minerals like in sea water? So we have same amount of different minerals. And there are a lot of enigmas. Why does water vapor coalesce? How come we don't know the reason? Why do we see clouds? Why, when you fly on the airplane, you see beautiful clouds, and you see that all the clouds has its own form. So it's not just a mist. It's very well structured form of different clouds. Why is it happening? How come that water vapors create these very complicated structures? And how come that these structures may be kept for very, very long time? Another enigma. How do water and radiant energy separate charge? Why do we have so tremendous charge generated by clouds? Because you know that we have thunderstorms, and thunderstorms, it is tremendous energy. It is huge energy. It is not just some joules, it is millions, billions of joules. And thunderstorm is coming every moment. So every second somewhere on the earth we can have thunderstorms every second. So how come? Why do we have it? Why do we have thunderstorms in some areas of the world and don't have so intensive thunderstorms in other areas of the world? So it's all big enigmas that has no answer in classical science. Another question: how is it possible to have lightning from one cloud to another cloud? We can understand, okay, we have difference in potential between Earth and clouds. Clouds mostly have positive charge, Earth has negative charge. So it is transfer of energy from one potential to another potential. But why from cloud to cloud? How it is possible that different clouds has different potential? And you know that this charge that come from one cloud to another cloud, again, it's huge amount of energy. Would it be possible to harness this energy? Would it be possible to use this charge? It would be practically unlimited source of energy. Plus, it would be much more safe, because you know that lightning may be very dangerous. We have a lot of fires in different parts of the world because of lightning. Even in our climate, in St. Petersburg, where we have very mild climate, we had the thunderstorms in summertime, and last year one person was killed by lightning just in the downtown St. Petersburg. You can imagine. So would it be possible to harness this energy, this charge? It would have given us tremendous source of energy. So what is the absolutely unique substance in the universe? What has at least 43 unique properties. And do you know that there are 14 different forms of ice? And different water properties has, of course, different features, because water is one of the liquid, one of the substance that can exist simultaneously in solid state, liquid state, and gaseous state. So you may have water with ice and with vapors. And you know that water is absolutely unique liquid because solid water is lighter than liquid water. And it's absolutely unique in the universe. Practically no other substances of this kind. And this allows a lot of animals, a lot of fish to live under ice. Because you know that always we have ice above the water at the surface. And can you imagine, would it be like for all other substances that where liquid phase is more lighter than solid state? Then ice would have come down to the bottom of any stream. It would be kept there, and slowly all the rivers in north part of the world would be filled with ice. So we are lucky that it's not happening. And we have so-named clustered water, and this is another stage of water, and we'll discuss it. It's we can tell that about this like a fourth stage of water. Water is very sensitive. So water is the most sensitive substance in the world. It has influence from the bottom, from inside the water, from the volume of water, and it may be contaminations from the walls, it may be impurities, it may be epitaxy, and of course, when we keep water in plastic bottle and in glass bottle, it's two different waters. That's why you understand that if you want to have good water, you need to keep it in glass and to drink it from glass, but not from plastic. And you understand that good wine always would be kept in glass bottles, but not in plastic, not in some paper containers. It's all only cheap. Water changed its property under succussion, under movement. And this is very, very important. We need to understand that if you want to have good water, this water should move. That's why all the principles of homeopathic preparations based on movement. Without movement, it's impossible to have good preparation, homeopathic preparation. And of course, a lot of influences. Water is influenced by electromagnetic fields, in particular by light. Water can breathe, and if you open bottle of water, it changes property for a long time because it breathes. Of course, water accepts energies, not one energy, but human intention energy. So if you take a bottle of water, if you open this bottle of water, or if you take water from some stream, some source, then what will change when you keep it at home? That's why water was always the source of research, and it was many interesting researches. I need to tell about my dear friend and colleague Masaru Emoto, who passed last year. He really did a tremendous job. You know that never he claimed to be a scientist. He told that he is a researcher. I'm sorry, 1 second. Это внизу? Да. Ты внизу? Все, нажми на кнопку 9, сейчас тебя откроется, поднимайся наверх, у меня вебинар идет просто. Вот нажми на кнопку 9. нет, и с улицы, да, с улицы. Какая комиссия? Ну, какая комиссия? Конфликт нормально. Ну ладно. Никто же это ко мне, ты туда пришел. Алексей, ты туда пришел, с улицы надо было дойти. Не ворота, а в дверь. Пора. Ладно, не ворота, заходи в поле, как говорят, денег было никуда. Okay, sorry, no interruption. I proceed. Okay, so this is my dear friend Masaru Emoto. So Masaru Emoto did tremendous impact on the world because he was presenter. He was able to present, and he was presenting beautiful images. He was able to tell about these images, and of course he did a lot to attract attention to water. Another name that I need to mention, this is Jack Benveniste. This was really very sad story, and you know this story of Jack Benveniste because he was very famous scientist in France. He was the head of a big laboratory, and in 1989 he decided to demonstrate new effects related to water. He demonstrated that at very high dilutions, it's possible to see the influence of these very high dilutions to another dilutions. So it's possible to see the influence of one water to another water. And you see this graph. This graph shows that it was shown that even at very high dilutions, below Avogadro number, it was possible to demonstrate physiological effects. So he published his paper in Nature journal. You know, Nature is one of the one of the key journals in science, and this paper attracted a lot of fighting against Jack Benveniste. So they created a committee. This committee came to his laboratory. They asked to reproduce experiments, and some experiments was reproducible, some experiments failed. After this, they published a paper where they accused him as being non-scientific, as being fraud, and it totally destroyed his life. He lost his position in the institute. He lost his position as top-level French scientist. He had to move to a little laboratory, and this was very, very dreadful situation for him. And you know that he was really tremendously impressed by this situation. Another name, so it's this paper published in Nature journal, and this paper, you see, it was a big group of people, and even if this paper was, this result was reproduced later by other scientists, still it wasn't accepted by scientific community by that time. And of course, it was all related to homeopathy. You know that homeopathy was created by Ganyman, Samuel Ganyman, in 18th century. Then it was another interesting person, was Dr. Edward Bach in 20th century. And Ganyman created real scientific line. Scientific line that was very well accepted by that time. And you know that now we have a lot of evidences, a lot of medical evidence, scientific proof that homeopathy is really very important and it has tremendous effect on people. But you know that still we are governed in medicine by pharmaceutical community, and pharmaceutical industry has tremendous power. That's why they are fighting against everything that can bring homeopathy back to high status. That is why all results of Benveniste was very dangerous for this industry. That is why they start fighting against him. Then it was another names, another people who developed, for example, Victor Schauberger, who was engineer, and he was watching water movement. He was being in nature, and he developed his own approach to treating water, to systems of water operations, and they was very, very efficient. But again, it was not a classical system. And that's why they attracted some attention, but then everything was destroyed and everything failed. And only one strong side was developed by Rudolf Steiner, who was philosopher, who created his own philosophical line, and who was able to develop this as part of practical approach in agriculture. Very special attitude to water. Because Victor Schauberger, he always told that water needs special treatment. We need to accept water as life being and treat it with respect and with very special care. But it wasn't well accepted, it was forgotten later. And now, next step, very important step, was done by two geniuses, two Italian physicists. Unfortunately, most of them have passed away now. And those people created a quantum electrodynamic theory of water. Of course, I don't want to tell you about what does it mean, quantum electrodynamics. You know that there are quantum mechanics, and quantum mechanics was proven that it is really a very important vision of the universe, vision of the world. Quantum electrodynamics, it's next level of quantum mechanics that was developed by Richard Feynman in the United States and Lev Landau in Russia. Both received Nobel Prizes for this, because this is next step of quantum theory that allows to evaluate properties of very complicated systems. And Preparata and the Giudici created a quantum theory of water, water as quantum system. And this is very complicated theory. That's why I thought that both of them were geniuses. They were geniuses. And Emilio was our dear friend. He passed last year, and he was a wonderful person. His personality, he was fantastic personality. And in their theory, they demonstrated that water may create structures, but it's not like ice crystals. No, it's absolutely different. It's absolutely different type of structure. We compare this with this beautiful picture of Renoir, where we have a dance hall, and you know, people when they are dancing, they move in accordance with each other. They move in harmonic order, and those people, they, of course, every dancer, every couple move a little bit different, but in principle, they all move in accordance with some rhythm, with some music. And if they have some particular type of dance, then in principle, all of them, they move in one and the same way. So that's why we can tell that they move coherently. And that's, at the same time, there are other people who are sitting, who are drinking, who are talking, and those people, they move chaotically. So they move here, there, so they're totally chaotic. At the same time, they change. Some people, they drink, then they go dancing. Some people dancing, then they go sit and drink. So it's always exchange. This is the principle of coherent, quantum coherent domains. So coherent domains, this is area of water that has some properties, coherent properties. So all molecules in this area, they move coherently. They are, we can tell about, they are in resonance. And of course, it's always exchange between those areas and other areas. So some areas are more chaotic, some are more coherent. And it was demonstrated by Emilio that water creates these coherent areas if it's just left by itself, or if water is moving. It is very important to have water that is moving. So, and it was really a very complicated theory, and this theory is published in many journals, top-level scientific journals, but as any theory, it needed some evidence, practical or experimental evidence. And this evidence was given just last year. It was created by Professor Alexander Konovalov, who is a wonderful, really outstanding person. He is an academician. It means that he is the member of top scientific council of our Russian Academy of Science. For 10 years, he was a rector of a very big university in Russia, in Kazan. It's a very big city in Russia, with a lot of industry, with a lot of scientific research, with a lot of universities. So for 10 years, he was the head of rector of a big university. Then for 10 years, he was the director of big scientific institute, of chemistry institute. And after this, he started research in water. And he created a lot of scientific data, a lot of papers. They were studying high dilutions. What does it mean, high dilution? It means that you take some substance, you put this substance in water in some amount, and you shake this water vigorously. So you need to shake this water vigorously. So we name it succussion. And after this is shaped, then you can keep this water for some time. It should stand on the table. And after this water with diluted water has some specific properties. And it may be very high dilutions, up to 10 in minus 20. So, and in research, Alexander Konovalov and his group, they were able to study many different substances. It is more than around 60 different substances. And they demonstrated that when they are diluted, then their physical properties, their biological properties has very specific pattern. So it means that they have some activity at some dilutions. For example, you see melaphen, you see very active peak at -7, then all activity comes down, then again very active peak at -17. So, and those numbers, they may be different. For example, for this chemical substance, the highest peak would be at -13. For those substances, there are several peaks. So it means that different substances has different activity at different dilutions. Of course, Konovalov was not the only one who did this research. We had many other top-level scientists who did this research in Russia, in France, in other countries, and they all was able to demonstrate this activity. So Ben-Menist was one of the first, then it was other people as well. But what's important? Alexander Konovalov was able to find the technology, and this technology is named as laser dynamic scattering technology, that allows to see very subtle structures in water, very subtle structures, and it's based on laser. So one laser beam comes through water. This is water, this is glass, and laser beam is coming through water. And another laser beam is sent by the microscope, and by microscope you can see scattering of this laser beam. So it's named laser dynamic scattering, and it all comes in dynamic mode. And this allows to see structures in water in the size of nanometers. And it was almost 100 compounds, different compounds. Plus, Alexander Konovalov was able to use a lot of different technologies, not only laser scattering. So all possible physical principles, all a lot of biological technologies, and you see it was different biological substances. So it was antioxidants, neuromediators, vitamins, hormones, antiseptics, anxiolytics, land growth regulators. So it was different substances. So it was possible to test biological activity of those different substances. And another tremendous discovery of Alexander Konovalov and his group was to find that all this depends on electromagnetic fields. What they did? They made this dilution to some level, and then one glass was standing on the laboratory bench, and other glass was in permalloy container. Permalloy container, it is special metal that totally blocks electromagnetics. So inside permalloy container, there are no electromagnetic fields, and no, of course, no geomagnetic field of the Earth. So, and it was found in very precise experiments that in laboratory sample standing on the table had this activity at low concentration, while sample that was in permalloy container had no activity at all after some concentration. So it was just pure water. Here it was activity, and very strong activity, without electromagnetic fields. It was no activity at all. Of course, next step by Professor Konovalov was to put some electromagnetic inductor, electromagnetic generator inside this container. And in this case, everything was fine. In this case, he had this activity at high dilutions. So it was demonstrated that geomagnetic field is obligatory to create homeopathic solutions. And now it gives us another insight. Okay, now we understand why some solutions, homeopathic solutions, may be active and some not. Why in some laboratories they have very good homeopathy, in other laboratories their homeopathy practically has no effect. Because you see, it is very important conditions how it is prepared. And this is tremendous achievement of Professor Konovalov. And they were able to measure the size of particles. And you see again, in laboratory conditions, it was particles of or clusters of big size. In without electromagnetic field, it was no clusters at all. So they were practically lost. So absence of particles. But what does mean particles? It's another question. It was shown that all those particles, those are water domains. So it was absolutely clear, precise experimental confirmation of the theory of Emilio del Giudice. Because by the theory it was predicted that the size of domain should be about this, about 1000 nanometers, and it was experimentally proven. So it is tremendous achievement. Now we have scientific theory of water, and now we have experimental confirmation of this scientific theory. That is tremendous, very important moment in science. Professor Konovalov was working together with Israeli physicist Tamar Yinon, who was using the Giudice theory she was able to calculate the size of different clusters, the size of different coherent domains. And it was shown again that experimental results totally precisely correspond to quantum electrodynamic theory. So again, as I told you, this is tremendously important moment in the development of science. Now we have concept of water, and now we have experimental information. At the same time, old theories about different clusters, about different structures, very beautiful looking, it's all was shown that it's all total nonsense. So no ice-like clusters, no beautiful structures, no models, all the structure models, it's all only play and has nothing to do with reality. So it is again very important conclusion from all the results. Next level I want to tell you about is again very important, and this was created by Luc Montagnier. Luc Montagnier, he's a Nobel Prize winner. He's a French scientist, very high status. He got his Nobel Prize because he was able to find HIV virus, and he got this Nobel Prize together with some American scientists who replicated his results, so he was the first anyway. And he's a wonderful person, and he's very interesting, very bright, and to have a discussion with him, it's a tremendous pleasure. So we are meeting at some conferences, we have discussions, and now he's doing wonderful research. He claims that his research, it is next level of Jacques Benveniste data. And in all his presentations, he always mentions name of Jacques Benveniste. He always showed his image, and he was able to measure signals coming from high dilutions. So Konovalov is measuring effects of high dilutions. Luc Montagnier measuring electromagnetic signals coming from high dilutions. And to record it, they take viruses, they take bacteria, because Luc Montagnier, he's a biologist, and then they dilute it with strong shaking. So they make again this very strong shaking of, then they keep these dilutions for a long time at the table. Only then they can have some effects, and the effects are amazing. So they are measuring signal from high dilutions, and this is signal that is really tell that those high dilutions, they emit electromagnetic fields. But you can imagine that in this high dilution there are practically no molecules. So it is not molecular structure, it is only structure of coherent domains, but it is measurable signal from the dilutions. And Luc Montagnier developed a system of measuring this signal, and it was absolutely clear difference between pure water and dilutions. And then they did very next step. They took DNA solution. They diluted this DNA to some level, 10⁻⁶. Then they put this DNA and together with water. So this is DNA solution. It's just pure water. They put everything in coil, where they have generated electromagnetic field with 7 Hz. And this coil was, all the system was placed in a permalloy container, so no outside influences. So, and it was kept there for 18-20 hours. Then they took this water, they diluted this water again to some level, and after this dilution, they were able to see effect. They were able to find DNA in this pure water. You ask me how it's possible. Of course, it was possible only with PCR reaction, polymer chain reaction, when in pure water they add some organic stuff, and this organic stuff is organized as DNA. So different amino acids that is organized as initial DNA. So it means that water, pure water, under the influence of DNA solution, had very special structure, and this structure allowed to create DNA in this water. You understand that this is absolutely new understanding of life and the origin of life. It's absolutely new understanding what does it mean, origin of life. Next step, they was able to measure this electromagnetic signal from dilutions, then make this signal digitized, send it by internet, and in another laboratory, people was able to create DNA in pure water. So this DNA, initial DNA, was sent by internet to another laboratory, and this recreated DNA in another laboratory. You understand what that means? It's absolutely new level of understanding and an absolutely new step in the world science. So now we can send replica of DNA through internet. Next level would be to send replica of maybe human beings through internet. So we understand that this is absolutely new revolutionary step in the development of science. Luc Montagnier is very active. He is very, he's full of ideas. He's presenting his results on different levels, and you understand that he is top level scientist. He is Nobel Prize winner on the top level. Plus, there are a lot of other people. You see, it's myself and plus Professor Vayekov, and we together at the conference. So now there are hundreds and hundreds of people who understand these results and who try to support these results. His result was reproduced in other laboratories. So now there are several laboratories in Italy. They were able to reproduce results of Montagnier. So now it is impossible to reject it, and it is impossible to just destroy his reputation and destroy his name. So it is next level, next step in world science. Another name that I want to mention to you, this is Professor Jerry Pollack from the United States, from Washington University. And last year he published a book, The Fourth Phase of Water, Beyond Solid, Liquid and Vapor, where he presents his own results accumulated for many years of research, results that demonstrate that water may have absolutely new properties nearby the surface. So they demonstrate that nearby any surface, water creates layers that has specific properties, and in particular this water separate charge. It means, it was demonstrated that it is possible to take a lamp, little lamp, and to put two wires in the water and to have light from the lamp. So it means separation of charge. And Pollack demonstrated that this separation comes to the organization of molecules nearby the surface. And again, this organization may be explained only by quantum theory, by the theory of the Giudici. So, and this organization of molecules, this layer may extend very, very far away. So it's not just nanometers, not just, it's hundreds of microns, So it's really strong layers. And it was demonstrated that all those layers, so in the exclusion zone, it is supported by light. So if we project light, then this zone increases. And the most efficient, this light in infrared zone, and what I mean infrared, it's warm. So we understand that this separation of charge, it is created by warmth, by sun. And this is very strong. So without in control, the zone is maybe quite at some size. With illumination, it may be very high. And it is practically no increase of temperature, very little increase of temperature. And again, it gives us absolutely new understanding of life and all processes around ourselves. So you see, this is influence, yes, this exclusion zone, and this influence of visible light, this influence of infrared. So as you see, it is clear, understandable that this infrared is most important. So the question: what charge the water battery? Now we understand that water battery is charged by energy, radiant energy, by energy of the sun. So always it was considered that sun generates heat. Now it is shown that sun generates order. So it's not just heat, it is first of all order. And sun is the most important moment to generate order in the universe. And we know that water, it is third most common element in the universe. First it is helium, then hydrogen, and then water. All over the universe you can find water. Now it is shown that on all planets we have water. Even on the moon we have water. A lot of asteroids, they are just big, huge blocks of ice. And it's all allows to create order in the universe. And of course, now we have practical applications for these concepts. Remedies through internet. It is so named DST Fund. It is a movement developed by several scientists from Russia, from Israel. Then now it developed as a really practical movement where you can download from internet the information image of any substance. They have list of different medications. They create informational copies of those medications, and you can download this copy to CD disk through internet. Then you put a glass of water on this CD disk, and because of light, water changed its properties. And it has properties of these particular remedies. Now, it is very active movement. They have website, several websites. So if you look to DST Fund, it's .io, then it's another sites as well. And of course, again, it has very important properties and very important meaning. So why is it all so important? Because this creates a foundation of new science, physics, chemistry, biology, because a lot of scientific lines are based on water. Foundation for engineering of new practical devices. And now we have more and more devices of this kind. This is results of application of this structured water. There are devices produced by one company in the United States, and this device allows to structure water, and it was done big testing in India on different fields, and they demonstrated that by using this structured water, they can increase crops total yield twice. You see, 1,300 kilos from 1 acre in normal water, and 2,040 with this device. And you understand, it's just same water, but this structured water, it passes through special device. Same with tsunami, another substance, again, twice yield with this structured water. Nothing else, no fertilizers, no special care, only different waters. Same with different other crops, absolutely same result. And you see the difference of production. And this is simple Indian people, farmers, who are just using these special devices. Same tremendous influence to poultry, tremendous influence. So chicken, they are much more healthy, much more alive using this water. And you see total weight of chickens, 3,800 kilos and 5,500 kilos with this water. And average weight increases one-third compared with normal crop. So it is really very clear that now we have this very interesting moments and very interesting research with this water. And we have a lot of data on water with electrophotonics, with GDV. So next time I will tell you how we study water with GDV, how we study water with BioWell, and how we can use our instruments to be involved in all this interesting research science. That was my ideas for today, and I hope that it was interesting for you. Okay, thank you very much for the attention. Goodbye. Bye-bye.